It's been a minute. Before I like to start, I'd like to say thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you very much. Mucho gracias. Gracias muchos, muchos, muchos. I'm going to keep the tradition going. As you can see from the thumbnail, there seems to be a crisis now in the world that it's like almost every day there is a situation whereby citizens of every particular place on the planet of this earth, they want immigrants to go back to where they come from. And I've been paying attention to a lot of things that's happened globally as much as I can find. Some things I don't know. So please, if there's any situation that you think that might require some sort of awareness, slide into my message, send me a message, tell me about the story, I'll look into it, we have discussion about it. But I spent some time this evening to sit back and just complete some couple of videos or some things that I like to have a perspective about. So I might say something that you don't agree with. That's completely fine. Put a comment there. Write why you disagree with me and why you think my opinion is wrong or your opinion is right. And if you both agree on terms, let me know why you agree with me too. Put the comment section there. But it's really crazy. I don't know why this is going on. And one of the things that I can see particularly that is contributing to this is because a lot of people are struggling. And unfortunately, people are not channeling the frustration to the right place. They're taking all the anger and the frustration into immigrants. And as much as we've talked about this many times on this channel and every other social media platform you can find out there about the importance of immigration, but for some reason, people are still really mad, angry, frustrated because they're not very happy with the way their life is and how things has been very difficult for them. I got you. I understand. In fact, as someone who's an immigrant here in Australia, today might be my last day. I don't know. Anything can happen at any time. Because today, the world we live today is everything you say will be used against you in the court of law or public opinion. That's how it works. There is no any kind of intellectual conversation that needs to be had. There is saying something because you're mean-spirited or saying something because it's just a factual, what's going on. So please do me a favor, share this link. It's going to be a long live stream. I'm going to show you a series of videos. I'm going to interrupt videos and show you from the perspective. I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. From Australia here to Africa. That is how crazy it is. From Australia to Africa, almost every place in this world there's immigration issues. People come, go back to your country. Go back to your country. I don't want you in my country. Go back to your country. Yes, go back to your country. So immigration is not something that the people want anymore. People are mad. People are angry. And people will crash out on those people that they think they can take the shit on. Pause. No didi. So yeah, we're going to discuss it. Please do me a favor. Don't forget to comment, like, share. Let me get your perspective on this because at the end of these videos, I'm going to give you my state of mind, what I think about this, and especially where it relates to me. Because we're getting to the point whereby a man just becomes the richest man on the planet of this. In fact, he has so much money based on stock. He can literally buy the entire world if he wants to buy it. That is how much money is worth. And that money is not even worth something in his bank account. It's called asset. The man has an asset of over $1 trillion. And yet, a lot of people still can't put food on the table. No. These people will not put the aggression and frustration on a man like that. The one man they're going to put their aggression and frustration on is an immigrant. Legal or illegal? An immigrant that most likely is paying tax. But unfortunately, some people, they don't have brain to comprehend. In fact, the stupidity, they need to have a whole new dictionary for the stupidity to really work, for them to really understand how the world works or how the society works. And some people, it's just lack of, what do you want to call it? There's a refusal to really actually listen to the data and the fact. but they will go down into the streets and scream, "Go back to your country! Go back to your country! We don't want you in my country! Go back to your country!" Okay, I got you. In fact, up down to South Africa. South Africa is asking all the illegal immigrants to leave their country. Okay? And I've said this year, if you know anything about 2026, it's a year of revelation. If you pay attention a lot, you will see a whole lot of things that will let you understand that something is going on in this world, and if you start putting the dots, you will really understand why this is happening. Something is going to happen this year or next year that I don't think we're really ready for. We're not. Because the level of hatred and frustration that people are showing on immigrants all over the world is laughable. So I'm going to show you a multitude of videos that's going to debunk some of these theories. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not. A couple of weeks ago in Ireland or whatever, I don't care what, Scotland, Ireland or wherever they fall in spectrum they fall into, or the country it is, there was a man, African man, that they put their knee. 5 white men put their knee and killed him in the middle of the street. There was no protest. The protest that was there were people just say, "Hey, no," as soon as allegedly, no, it wasn't allegedly. They showed the story. There was a African man, a guy in the middle of the street. The whole city burned down. Where was the city burned down when the man was? They put a knee in his neck. You see what is creating? An eye for an eye situation. And who is allowing this to happen is the stupid or no leadership that we have in this world. They are the one that is allowing this shit to happen. Because when you're supposed to approach something the way you need to approach something, they don't do it that way at all. They let things to foster over and over and over. People start getting mad. "Get out of my country! Get out of my country! Fuck this immigrant!" It's not about teaching people history lesson anymore because people don't think for themselves. They wait people to feed them information that will enrage their emotion and outside, and they will act really stupidly, and they'll justify it by, it was an emotional response. Emotional response will lead to property destruction, people getting killed, and that is a justification for why we're doing this shit. So, DJ, please don't waste too much time. Drop the tracks. I'm going to show you from America. I will show you the pattern. Then we'll start seeing the people that seems to be getting deported. Because see, this one is just really stupid and really crazy in the first place. And I'm going to say it out loud. So when a white man is illegal in another country or is out of visa in another country, so he is not an illegal immigrant. Yeah, because he's Mr. Peach. So automatically he's doing everything legally. Huh? I just refuse not to include this video on it. There's a man that got arrested. He went to Colombia. He was raping a child in the middle of daylight. There is a video about him. There is no outrage. Yeah, let me show you the videos on why they're deporting these people. Does this look like somebody that... Let me just play it.
Sir, what country are you from?
Don't answer for this line. You don't have to answer questions. Well, block the elevator.
Your head up. Your head up.
Não tem problema, amigo. Amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo. Amigo. Oh, don't be, man. Move back. Out the way, Dennis. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Move.
I just want to show you that was the very first one. It seems to be only brown or black looking men. If you're brown and black, they can't wait to find you. Oh, yeah. You're the number one suspect. Yeah, this is where we've got to in 2026. I search online. I trying to find online to trying to see if I can find Mr. Peach or Mrs. Peach getting dragged in the middle of our job or in the middle of the street, telling that you've overstayed your visa or you came into the country illegally. In fact, in most cases, you won't find it that way, that they will come into a so-called country illegally because their passport give them access to go to everywhere in the world without needing any kind of checks. Okay, but if you have an African passport, as somebody who is a victim of this all my life, you have to declare who you are, where you take your shit, where you sleep, which school you went to, your health status, your father's status, your banking account. They're going to extract every information they can think about on the planet of this earth because their number one concern is that you are not a criminal. Because they don't want to issue a visa so you can come to a particular country and you can commit a crime. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should allow just, a criminal to come into the country. But it just seems that the requirement for every other people to go into the country, or when they say there's a system that's been set up that everybody can go through the same application, but we don't get the same outcome. We don't. Because many of you've never queued in the embassy in your life. You don't even know what the value of your passport is. And it's not even about passport. It's about for you to have the ability for you to pack your bag and migrate somewhere and start a life. Most people who pack their bags to migrate somewhere, they're some of the most self-resilient people you find on the planet of this earth. Because most people, they understand the concept of you applying for visa, being refused, have to disclose every personal information in your life to a complete household that you don't know what they do with your data. You don't know what they do with your information. So this is the daily life of average immigrants who migrate from their homes, from their home countries, go to another place. And I know, I get it, Mr. Peach, you don't care. You understand? You don't care. You've never cared. You don't know the value of what it is for you to migrate somewhere because you've never really have a need for. So you wouldn't even understand and comprehend it. I get it. And I'm not judging you. It is what it is. But the thing is that of all the videos I'm trying to find, there's hardly one that I found whereby Mr. Peach or Mrs. Peach is getting dragged by the ISIS or the ISIS, whatever they call themselves in America, dragging them out of the place of work, dragging them out of their homes. It's only immigrants or, the brown-skinned people or African. Those are the people that seems to, you see them, that's where the muscle is gagged up. But this protest is happening in Ireland. The same island that they put a knee on a man. They killed him. Few days, it's not even 3 weeks ago. There was no massive protest destroying the entire city. Yeah, I did a video about it. If you think I'm lying, go and check it. The man they put their knee. 5 men killed him in the middle of the street. There was no house bombing, nothing. The Africans there, they protested quietly. But this one happened, the entire country. Even that stupid idiot McGregor, or whatever the fuck they call his name, telling that, it's time for it to stop migration. Okay. I just want people to remember. See, I've said it many times. See, karma has a big dick. And when karma is ready to fuck you, it doesn't use lubrication. Pause. No Diddy. You guys watch. You will see.
We're all shaking like fucking
Have you seen that? In the broad daylight. And those men, they are the future of your tomorrow, right? Going door to door, putting their foot, breaking glasses, destroying properties. And that is how they're protesting for a man that almost got unalive in the middle of the street by an immigrant. But a black man, an immigrant man, they literally killed him in the middle of the street. There was no rage like this. None. You see that? An eye for an eye. In my village, they say it makes the whole village blind. Because that's what's going to happen. This is become a trend now. Situation happens and you got to understand something now. Black people haven't started to fight back. I say it again. Africans, black people, they haven't started to fight back yet. Okay? I'm just saying, let you continue this behavior. Hey. Yikes. You see, I've seen the angry of black people before when black people are angry in masses. Trust me, there is no right on the planet of this earth that will compare with it. None. I've seen violent, literally real violent, and I don't understand anything for you. Because you see people just trying to live their life. I'll say it again one more time for you just watching me. In that same island, a black man was killed in the middle of the street for allegedly stealing something. There was no people going down on the street, destroying properties, destroying things. Not one. People peacefully protested. They protest. They didn't burn down houses or destroy anything because it's our country. Okay? I just want to say, Kama has a big dick. Let's move on.
Nobody remembers a time when it was just white people. Nobody remembers a time when it was just white people. So they're asking for something that they haven't even experienced themselves. Yeah. So I say if those people want that, they need to go somewhere else and build a new England. And people that want to move there, they can move there because I'm happy here and it's good for it's good for us all. Yeah. The diversity, isn't it? Yeah.
So the thing is that almost everywhere you go to in this world, we are already integrated one way or the other. And it's really foolish because there's a lot of people, I wouldn't even call it lack of intelligence, really. I think there's a deliberate reluctancy for them to truly understand the spectrum that it requires for you to have immigrants in your society. Literally. For somebody who's here legally, not stealing anything, not what... Every day since I've been living here in Australia, every time I got a job, I had to pay tax. Let me say it again. In the last few years, 5 years combined, there are multi-glamour company here in Australia, they've made over $100 billion. They paid zero income tax. Zero income tax. And I paid more tax than these companies. Let that sink in for a second. They paid zero tax. And I paid more tax than most companies here in Australia. It doesn't make any sense at all. So continue this conversation because this is part of the things that always lead to the outcome that we have in this world because people don't think. It's called the sins of the father. These actions today, the kids tomorrow, they will remember it. Oh, you damn Skippy. They will remember it. So continue this racist immigration rhetoric that goes around all over the world. I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. It's like for the last 4 or 5 months now, it's been the same thing. Even here in Australia. I will show you some. Let's continue.
This ain't my specialist topic whatsoever, but I cannot be the only person in the UK who does not want to own a house. Or has got absolutely no intention whatsoever of getting a mortgage, surely. Maybe? Is it just me? I don't know. I spoke to a mate the other day. Him and his missus both grafting their asses off to try and get a mortgage. Banks told them they've got to save £60,000. Both on okay money on paper, but in reality, you know, you're earning £3 a month, whatever it is. Your rent's £2 a month. Then you've got, what, £1 to live a month? Okay, so you've basically had no life for the last 5 years, scrimping and scraping. Then you're going to go and give that money to the bank for some house that might be worth, I don't know, 400 grand today, and they'll say, oh, but it'll go up. This ain't the 80s, this ain't the 90s where houses, you know, were going boom, 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 boom. You're getting 400 grand today. You're telling me that little terraced house down in Bexley Heath is going to go to 800 grand in 10, 15 years. I just don't see it possible. If so, our money has gone to absolutely dust. Our money means fuck all. You're then going to tie yourself in to basically be a slave to the bank for the next 40 years of your life. You're going to graft until you're 70 just to pay your house off. You end up paying double the money back that they gave you, by the way, somewhere along the line, just so you can have your name on that house to what? Say you own it, die in another 10 years. You're selling the best part of your life for what? For that house. I just do not understand. Tell me if I'm wrong. Please, educate me. But the second someone says mortgage or deposit, I'm just like that. Why?
Yeah, that is the classic case of the hokey dokey that, I've been one of those few live streamers or YouTubers that really talk about it from the perspective of the biggest three people that really fuck us up every day. Pause, no diddy. The people that really take advantage of our society, of our life. I call them the three musketeers. You want to know who they are? You want to take a guess? These are the three musketeers. The lawyers, the politicians, the bankers. Who do they all work for? The billionaires. So every time the billionaires quack, they need money. They go to the bank. They need a particular law passed because they don't want to pay tax. They go to the politicians. So when they go to the politicians, when other people start whinging that this is not fair, they call their lawyers. But you see that? This is how we get indeed every day. Politicians, lawyers, bankers. What do they all have in common? They have one particular self-interest. The billionaire friends, the billionaire corporations, the billionaire companies. Okay? So you can't afford to put shit on the table. Don't blame immigrants. Point aggression onto someone else because you don't think. We are getting screwed by the same people. I'll say it again one more time. The politician, the bankers, the lawyer, they all have one thing in common. The billionaires. So if you keep whinging, think about it. You work, let's say you start working at 25, 20 years old. If you want to buy a house today, it's going to take you 45 to 50 years for you to be able to own the house outright. And by then, you will have paid about 1.5 worth of the price of. So basically, if your house is $400,000, by the time you finish paying up your mortgage, you would have paid about $600,000 or $700,000. That is some next level hustle. Not only you pay almost 120 or 150% of your entire mortgage. So how is your life free? You're working to pay bills. You're always constantly in stress. So what happens when you lose your job? The bank don't give you shit. They want their money. And you don't pay. They call their politician friends to set up a new law. When the politician, they'll sue you. They call their lawyer friends. When you don't do anything, the billionaires take the house away. What can you do about it? Who do you want to go and meet? Who's going to come defend you? Who? The law?
Emotional, damn it.
You think the law has... Oh, shit. You think the law gives a fuck about you? The law wasn't written for you, an average man. Mr. Peach and Mrs. Peach, I hope you're listening. The law wasn't written for you. The law was written for the billionaires, for them to keep screwing both of us together every day. Pause. No diddy. Oh, they will take their lubrication on us. That is how the system was set up. System wasn't set up for an average man. System was set up for the rich people to keep every day. We at their mercy. Because one of the stupid bullshit they give is that, if you don't do, we cannot give them jobs. That is why here in Australia, I'm not talking about Canada, America, UK. No. Here in Australia, 5 years, I know for a fact, including public record, companies who've made over $200 billion in profit, they paid zero tax, zero income tax. And I've been here for almost 15 years. I've never missed 1 year without paying tax. And yet, you one son of a you know what? You're going to come and think, get back to your country? I ain't going to finish you. Let's continue.
You don't want immigrants in this country, fine, cancel them tomorrow. But first show me how you're going to get the people who are going to job. Why can't British people look after their elderly? They're elderly.
Because they don't want to do it. It's hard gone, low wage.
Right, so why do people with no qualifications think they're entitled to a really high wage? And where?
No, that's the number one idiocy again that we get around the world. It's quite very too obvious, really. I deal with this so many times because I'll go to a particular place. People just look like, yeah, because you're black, you're not supposed to be that intelligent. And I'm like, conversation for another day. Let's move on.
Someone who's educated from abroad is doing that same job for a lower wage, but they don't want him to do that either. Why can't British people drive trucks? Why are there so many up-and-air truck drivers?
Because they're willing to do the gun.
Why couldn't British people, after World War II, work in Dagenham Fords?
It was a bit of a population crisis issue after the war.
So there's no ethnic minorities on any production line at the moment? Of course they are. Whether you go to a chicken factory, a warehouse, Amazon DPD warehouse. Who's driving a DPD vans? Who delivers your Amazon?
Always up and air.
Always up and air. Always a Balwant Singh. Always a Sardar. Why can't Gordy drive vans? Give me one good reason why people cannot drive an Uber. British people born and bred here. What's the first thing you did when you were 17?
Drive your mates around.
Why? Because we know Gadibina Sardanias more.
That's it, you get freedom.
So why can't the British people, 4 million unemployed or whatever it is, why can't any of them drive Ubers? How come every Uber driver I've ever encountered is a foreigner? Instead of black cabs, which a lot of Gordy do drive, why can't they drive Ubers?
I could probably give a reason why, but you're not going to like it. Uber as an entity dock a lot.
Work harder.
No, it isn't that. Say if I book an Uber take a massive fee off that and the driver doesn't see all of it.
So they don't want to work for low wages, basically.
And when you're a black cab driver, you're in charge of the black cab. That's all your better.
So you don't want to work for a lower...
Yeah.
So tough. If someone is doing that, why are you begrudging someone?
You see, that's the question again that I really don't understand. Because one of the excuses that I hear across the board in most places when they complain about immigration is that, oh, you're taking the low-paid job, you should do this, that. Then go and fucking fight for us to get more equal pay. Get outside and complain to your so-called leadership. Tell them to hold this organization, these companies, for them to pay the right amount of wages that it requires for you to get off your fucking ass and go get a job.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
No. If you complain all you will, get up your ass, go and cry for them to write the new constitution or policy or whatever it is that is going to hold those corporations accountable for them to pay what they're supposed to pay, so you can get off your fat ass and go and get the same job and do it. No, but you can stay there and whinge. Hey, immigration coming to our country. Hey, they're coming to our country. It's like you have something in your hand, you don't value it, but people will come around and see the value, they work their ass off to get exactly what they get, and you're getting mad. Oh, okay, I'll put it this way. If it was easy to migrate, how about you pack your bag, take your British passport, your British passport, go to another country, go and start your life there. Yeah. In fact, they should do you what they do to most people. They should open your ass at the airports to make sure that you don't bring any colonization mentality into your head. In fact, they will scrutinize you before you enter the country. Then they will start policing you everywhere. Let's see how that works. Go and see the Mr. Peach that is complaining in China, how China is dealing with them. Common sense, they don't have. So I'm not surprised. Now I want you to listen to the Prime Minister of Canada, Your Excellency. Let's hear what he wants to say. I'm listening.
That pact for immigration to Canada is clear. We welcome the peoples of the world in all their diversity, in all that splendor. We don't welcome the world's hatreds. When you come to Canada, you bring your faith, your tradition, your language, your story. You leave behind your animosities.
So with all due respect, that's not going to work. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. Because there is too much anti-immigration all over the world. But like I've said many times, I do understand why a lot of people push back on immigration. I genuinely understand it. I do. One of the feedback is that, because I do have conversation about this, because I do want to understand, but we've never colonized anyone. Why are we paying for this? I've said it on this live stream so many times. Boo-boo, Mr. Peach, Mrs. Peach, This is how it works. You didn't commit slavery. Yes. You've never hurt anyone. Yes. But your fathers, your great-great-grandfathers, they did. Yes. In fact, not only that they did, they took a whole lot of resources from those places. And when they took those resources, they didn't go back there and put back what they took. No, they keep taking and keep taking and keep taking. Now, those offspring now, they've now grown up. They found out that there's nothing here anymore. So they come to you. Hey, your father took a lot of things here. But instead of your leadership that you have now, for them to acknowledge, so that there can be some restitution to allow those people to understand, hey, we are not our parents. We didn't do this to you. So what we can do moving forward, that number one, this shit is never going to happen again. Number one. Number two, moving forward, we don't have a lot of resources, but we can create an infrastructure whereby we can create something for you so that we can start, paying restitution. So that way you can motivate the people here to say, hey, okay, there's some money back home. Now let me go back home and fix my shit hole. Nah. March 26 this year, United Nations, when they asked them to vote, all the countries that contributed in colonizing all these places, they refused to vote. The only one that have the cojones to vote and vote terribly was America, Israel, and Argentina. And what do they have in common? Go and research it. You find it. And some of you don't know that information because I guess you don't give a fuck. You don't care. You don't give a shit. So if you're whinging about immigration, nah, boo-boo. Go and park in front of your Senate houses, your governor houses. Go there. That is the people that you need to hold accountable. Not some immigrant who is working, paying tax, contributing into the community because you don't see it. All right? We're talking about leadership that has more money to go and use to pay for wars. They can allocate funding for military campaign. The same leadership that will give you every justification in the book why you can't have proper healthy meal on the table or why you can't have a roof over your head. But for some reason, they can allocate funding to go and blow up some shit somewhere. That leadership is the one that you should take your shit with, not terrorizing the whole neighborhood because you're mad. You can't afford to go and buy a liquor or load somebody. Let's move on, Joe.
Sweden has proposed a new law where people could be deported for not living honestly. And if you've been paying attention over the last few years, you'll know that this image of calm and reliability has started to crack. Because behind the clean, organised surface, Sweden's been dealing with something very different. Rising gang violence, shootings, areas where even the police have struggled to keep control. And that's where a newly proposed law has just announced comes in. The government is now pushing something they're calling an honest living requirement for migrants. And if you don't meet that standard, you could be deported. Things like ignoring debts, abusing benefits, not complying with authorities, all come into question. And on paper, a lot of people will hear that and think, okay, fair enough. If a country feels like it's slipping with the standards, tightening the rules sounds like an obvious response. But it could get a bit more complicated than that. They haven't clearly defined what honest living actually means. So now you've got a situation where the rules aren't fixed yet and open to interpretation, which could open the door to something much bigger. And under this new proposal, even what you say could be taken as a sign of your character. So people might not be deported for breaking the law. They could be deported because someone decides you don't quite fit the standard. A Swedish citizen can say something controversial and perhaps nothing happens. A migrant, on the other hand, says the same thing and suddenly their right to stay is in question. But step back for a second, because Sweden isn't acting in isolation. Across Europe, things are starting to shift. Countries are tightening borders, increasing deportations, and trying to, what others say, is regain control. And Sweden, a country once known as one of the most open and stable, is now leading that shift in a much more serious way. I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. I post daily from the road. Follow for more.
Thank you. And I do agree with that because you can. One of the things about me is that when it comes to immigration, I'm not telling you to go somewhere you start committing crime. You go somewhere you commit crime, they'll hold you. Yeah. You start shooting. You start to send. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Go back to where you come from. You don't go there and start committing crime, shooting gun, killing people. Oh no. Nah. Because the thing is that when you migrate somewhere, they say when you go to Rome, you behave like a Rome. Doesn't mean you have to turn yourself to a Roman. Behave like a Rome. All right? You go there, do what people are doing, don't commit crime, work, pay your tax, live jejely. How easy is that? Bam! That's what a reasonable person would do. But when you go there, you start committing all this crime. Now, like I said, you're allowing laws to be interpreted. Jesus Christ! Pause. Can't even speak English for real. When I'm really in this angry mode, laws can be yeah, today my Yoruba English is coming out. Laws cannot be interpreted in a way that it will make sense to a lot of people. But I get it why Sweden is doing that, and I don't blame them. You don't come here and start shooting and committing all these crimes, and you expect them to just sit back and just look at it. So Africans, take that cup too. Immigrant, take that cup too. But what I just know the thing is that there is something that anytime there's a situation whereby there's gangs, drugs, whatever it is not just a one-man thing. There's always somebody internally. You know what I mean? Yeah, I say it works. Somebody internally is is gingering this situation. And you look for the most vulnerable people because many of them willingly. I gotta say it how it is. I'm not coddling anyone. I don't care if it's an African. A lot of immigrants here willingly because it's the way for them to make, sharp. Who wants to work 9 to 5 till he die? You work 9 to 5, you pay more tax than the billionaires that own your company. So they want to do quick way. I get it. Like Trump say, no problem. But the bottom line is that these are the things that's led to this. There's actions happen, and these are the consequences to it. But the way they're going about it, as usual, Africa, we always take the punch. Pause. No, Didi. Let's move on. Now, this section is about Australia. I wanted to get some feedback about what's going on in Australia with this anti-immigration shit and that is bubbling up a little bit.
Someone explained to me, who's actually born in Australia, why there are so many racist, whatever you want to call them, people who want immigrants to leave. The only people that are not immigrants in Australia are the Aboriginal people. So why don't you leave too? And this includes politicians like Pauline Hanson who just stir up hate. Another side note, if all the immigrants leave, people like me, who's going to look after you when you get sick?
And that's the thing that seems to quite common though. For somebody who's been here for a little bit, I called some of my friends professional nyash cleaners. If you don't know what I mean, go and Google what it means. Yeah, they're professional nyash cleaners. They clean nyash a lot. They had to clean a lot of nyash. Imagine if they're not around. Many of you, with the level of relationship that you guys have, you don't even have one way or the other how to take care of your parents. Because in this environment, I don't want to use the word culture because people get in their feelings a lot. In this environment, they don't like to, once your father says, I better dump this guy in the retirement home. Yeah, give me the house. Yeah, give me all this account. Yeah, just feed him watermelon and canned meat, canned beans and bread. Yeah, give him some eggs. Yeah, that is how it works. But in our culture, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to say that you don't have one, but congratulations. This is some of the things that a lot of people don't think about because everybody believes that you're going to live forever. No, you're not. You will not live forever. A day is going to come. Your dick is not going to work anymore. That your big nyash is going to shrink. Your big titties is going to go down. There is nothing you can do about it. It's nature. Father time, undefeated. So when that time comes, and just remember all the rhetoric today. Remember all the shit today. Karma has a big dick. I told you then he's going to fuck you real hard. Pause. Move on.
I know I've posted about it before, and I'm sorry if I lose the plot and start to use expletive. No, actually, I'm not fucking sorry. I'm sick to death of these loose-lipped, slack-jawed cretins that just keep carrying on in such an illogical way. Like, my brain is itching at the fact that they will not think. And what am I talking about? Okay, all of these One Nation types that love to talk about, and to be honest at the moment, the libs and whatever, this Australian values. You know, and the big one they go on about is this Aussie fair go. You know, we give everyone a fair go. Isn't it wonderful? But it seems it only applies to some people, because the bullshit that is getting around, it's still getting around. It's being shared by people that just are too bloody lazy and stupid to check. So the whole thing about, you know, the Angus Taylor, let's not give benefits to non-citizens. Okay, so we've got 3 million permanent residents. They all pay tax. The benefits that they receive, you know, should they get sick or whatever, counts up to $15 billion. They pay $40 billion in tax alone, you imbeciles. That is a good deal for us. Now, let's talk about the fair go bullshit. If you want to be fair, if you truly believe in that fair go, you either give them the benefits or you give them a discount. Australian welfare is 37% of our tax take. So how about we give them a 37% discount on their tax bill because they don't qualify for it? That's a fair go, one or the other. Make your mind up. Can't have both, because to have both, it's not a fair go, and it's pretty much fucking slavery. Simple as that. And then the other bullshit about, oh, you know, the $5,000, you know, goes to foreigners. It goes to residents, like citizens, and permanent residents. You know, people that are on the way to becoming citizens, or they've been here, paid their tax. If you don't want them to get that 5%, you know, subsidy, how about we discount that as well from their tax? Because they don't qualify. Let's work out whatever. So let's just say that anyone that's not a citizen gets a 40% reduction on their tax, because according to you, that's an Aussie value. That is a fair fucking go. You can't have it both ways. For God's sake, use your damn brains. Have a bit of a fucking look. It takes 10 minutes to look this shit up. So all the One Nation types and Angus and his crew, you know, on that headlong rush to the far right, create a fucking problem that doesn't exist. As far as welfare goes, we earn almost 3 times what we spend. That's a fucking good deal in anyone's fucking... Jesus Christ. You just... Honestly, the stupidity is incalculable. Yeah, unbelievable.
So, I live here in Australia. For the viewers who don't know, please don't forget to comment, subscribe. Please, I need your subscription. We gotta get monetized. You see, I feel it's anger. Like I said before, if you work and live here in Australia, you have to pay tax. It is non-negotiable. You cannot dodge tax. You have to pay. Let me say it again. You gotta pay tax. There is no choice. And happily, a lot of people will pay tax. You understand? And like I said, a lot of people, the laziness that a lot of people have today, they just like to whinge so much. Or many of them, they're computer warriors. They know how to type a lot. They know how to say a lot of stupid shit online. Because that place there, nobody can come and hold them accountable. But don't forget, they've just passed a law now. You see some dumb racist shit now? I just gonna screenshot it now, send it to them. Oh, they'll come knock your door. You pause. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, they passed law now. You see anything you see online now, yeah, it can hold you accountable. You see some racist shit, they'll hold you accountable. Because that is the law now. Remember, the law is your friend. Oh, jeez, I don't want to lie. But the thing is that when it comes to taxes, a lot of people don't understand how tax work. Let me use another phrase. They don't want to know how tax works. They don't want to. You see, everything in this life, home, foreign, wherever it is, if you have resources, okay, the number one question you got to ask yourself is that, how do you manage that resources? Tax is a resources because it's money coming out of people back into the hands of the government. Then ask yourself, who are the people that is paying tax? And who are the people that is not paying tax? The tax that's being paid, what are they using the tax money to do? What are the funding that they use those taxes to use? Whatever English language, you get my point. Those taxes that they receive every year, what did they use? Where are the checks and balances? What are the projects that they used for those taxes? Then you need to start thinking. But the problem we have today is that people believe so much in other people, like the people that they follow or people that they believe in. Those are the ones that they want them to give them those information. But those people, they are professional criminals. They just scheme whatever they can. Literally. I showed a video a couple of days ago. America, example, in the last 25 years, they've spent over between $4 to $8 trillion on war. And China used that same time, they've become the number one economy in the world. It's called checks and balances. It's called misplaced priorities. If your priority is for you to go and terrorize the entire world, okay. Chaos creates opportunity for those who are smart. But unfortunately, here in Australia, people complain a lot. Oh man, the killing is so hard. Ask yourself a question. Where is the jobs? Where? The jobs, there's no new invention of new jobs in Australia. How the fuck do you expect people to be able to buy a house? While you pay more tax, but you don't fucking know where the tax money is going to. You don't. Thinking is not fucking illegal, but a lot of people, they can't think for themselves. Everything in this life requires checks and balances. This year now, why don't Australians ask the government, show us the checks and balances. What have you spent the entire budget of this year? What have you used it for? Then you guys are going to start looking exactly what are the things that they're spending money on. What are the things that's priorities? What are the things they're not? But unfortunately, people can't think. Immigration, get out of the country. Oh, get out of the country. It's my country. You're fucking stupid. You cannot think. Checks and balances. I've done a lot of content about American their debt. America is going to go into recession. It's just a matter of months now. It's no more years. In a matter of months, America is going to go into recession. Because why? They tell the entire public that they're in $30-something trillion in debt. Bullshit. It is over $108 trillion in debt. That's including interest. So tell me, every American citizen is owing about $130,000 US, even including the ones that is yet unborn. If you think I'm lying, go and check their website. They have a US clock about their debt. Go and check it every day. In fact, let me bring it up. Just to show you again one more time what I'm talking about. But to the entire public, you think, America. Have a look. You see that? That is the American debt. Okay? And a country like this would tell the entire public that we're a rich country. You know, we have so much resources. But look at that. Australia is in over a $1.something trillion in debt. Australia is like the Australian debt is 90% lesser than this one. But this is the real debt that America really holds. You see that? Unfunded debt including interest. That is what America really holds. That is what they hold. And they hold in the country, but backed by one particular country in the world today, which is Japan. Japan is going to increase their interest rate to 1%. You will see what's going to happen. Oh, yeah. You will see. Now, look at this. Per citizen, this is how much debt that they owe. Every taxpayers. By the time this year is going to finish, this money is going to be over 40 to 50 trillion dollars in debt. This is why this is the real debt. All right? So, Australia, let's continue this rhetoric. And you got to understand something. One more thing again that is quite often common when there's this online conversation about, goodbye, the immigrant. What about all the resources here in Australia? What are they using it for? Because like I said, again, one more time, during the COVID, from COVID to today, the day the entire world shut down, people cannot fly or go anywhere else. The banks in Australia, the banks only, I'm not even talking about the mining sectors. The banks alone, they've made an arguably over $200 billion in profit. Let me say it again, if you don't even listen or understand me. The banks in Australia in the last 5 years alone, they've made over $200 billion in profit. And what is the population of Australia? We're literally under 30 million. We're not even 29 million people. But the banks have made over 200 billion. If you think I'm lying, check it. Now, just talk about small scale companies in the billions. Here in Australia, I pay more tax than most companies that are worth $30-40 billion. Let that make sense. I pay more tax than most corporation that makes billions of dollars in this country. How? What is the justification? Then one ignorant bastard will say that, get out of immigration, get out of the country. How? Where is the money? Why are they not paying tax? And when they pay tax, what have they done with the money that was paid? Checks and balances. When there's no checks and balances, they keep giving a whole lot of stupid reason. A couple of days ago, there was a case whereby they were asking one of the ministers, 50-something billion is missing.
Emotional damage.
They couldn't come up with a justification. 50-something billion dollars was missing. No. I don't think you heard me. It was missing. They couldn't find it. But yet, you will go down in the street. Yeah, immigration, they're taking all our jobs. They're taking all our this. Go and check it. Japan is what is keeping American economy like it is. Once Japan increases the interest rate before the end of this year, you will see how quickly it's going to break. Why do you think they're trying to change a lot of things they're doing now? Let's move on. Because it's just really stupid that people want to deliberately just act like they're ignorant or they just refuse to really understand how the world works. I can tell you, there are three major people that the whole world is struggling with. The entire world is struggling with. The politicians, the bankers, the lawyers. They have one friend in common, the billionaires. They control your life more than you could ever know. There's nothing an immigrant can do to you compared to what billionaires do to you every day. And most billionaires in the world that last time I checked, there's not a lot of them that look like me. Just keep that in mind. Let's move on.
Guys, if you're an Aussie watching this, let me tell you a dark truth about life in Australia right now. Basically, guys, we are all slaves. We work our entire lives paying income tax to the government. Then you pay GST every time you buy something. Then there are council rates, land tax, tolls, rego fees, business taxes, licensing fees, and 100 other charges that somehow keep finding their way into your wallet. And by the way, any tax increase on a small business or a property investor or even a large business, that finds its way into end prices that we all pay as well. So let's call it what it is. By the time it's all said and done, most Aussies are handing over 50 to 60% of what you earn. That's the reality. Think about that. You work half your life for yourself and half your life for the system that does very little for you. If you are hardworking, does very little for you, but it gets worse. Let's say you spend decades working yourself to the ground, you buy a home, build some wealth, maybe invest a little bit, and then you try to leave something behind for your children. Then one day you're gone. Your kids inherit those assets, sell them, and then more tax gets paid along the way through various taxes, duties, and capital gains obligations. That's 75% of what you worked for your whole life gone to the system, aka the government. Now, I don't know if our Prime Minister has kids, has a family. I don't know what he thinks about families, but guys, we're doing all these sacrifices most of the time for our children. So imagine you work your ass off your whole life, you keep 25% of what you make, and now there's this debate going around, is this communism, not communism? Guys, call it whatever you want. Thievery, theft, communism, call it what you want. Guys, being left with 25% of your hard work, I don't know what you call that. Now, the government has the nerve to tell you all of this is being done in the name of fairness and helping younger Australians. Guys, they expect Aussies to believe that while making it harder to build wealth, harder to invest, harder to run a business, and harder to get ahead, they're trying to say, hey, that's all meant to be for fairness, to help people out. Come on, guys. Now, guys, I just want to say that now it is more important than ever to become knowledgeable with money. It's very, very important to understand the tax system, the rules. It's very, very important on how to manage your money, where to allocate your money, what money is, how it works, the economy. It's very, very important. You need to understand money. You need to understand investing. You need to understand tax, and you need to understand how governments make decisions that will affect your wealth, because you'd be naive to assume that every policy is designed with your best interest at heart. Just sit back and think, hey, if I sit back, work hard, work my job, everything's going to be all right. It will not. So guys, this conversation matters. You need to educate yourself, build your own financial resilience, and take control of your future before somebody else does it for you.
I showed a video a couple of days ago about a very nice British man that explained how the British housing scheme works. Basically, in summary, I don't want to play the whole video again because it's quite long, really. Summary basically is that they were asking the billionaires to let them know when they go and hide those money in those offshore accounts. They were supposed to disclose the trust, but they've already passed a law that is restricting them from showing who is under the trust. So it's like you going there to go and investigate something that you already know that you're not going to get details for. So the only way you can really investigate and get those information about those trusts is that you need to know who owns the trust in the first place. But trust is designed for you not to know who is the owner of the trust. Like, let that make sense. And these bastards will come online and trying to talk a lot. Oh yeah, the fucking immigrants are taking our thing. You dumb. The people who are buying the property, they don't even live in the UK. And I sure as hell, they don't look like me quite a lot. Yeah. But they wrote the law. They wrote the policy for you, Mr. Dum-Dum, so you can take it on board and crash. Then you go and destroy properties of an immigrant. When you see immigrant, you take your aggression on them. So black people are now you're punching aggression. I wish a motherfucker would. Listen, you and I, we're gonna see God. I swear, you and I will drag you with me. We will see God together. Oh, you damn Skippy. We'll see God together. But you gotta see the level of stupidity that I come across when I check some things online. It cracks my brain. They set up a trust fund that you're not supposed to disclose who owns the trust. And yet, they will use the same system to buy all the property, all the companies, all everything. Then they can go to your politician friend to tell them that, hey, man, I'm paying too much tax. I don't want to pay any tax at all. I've shown videos about billionaires even confessing that we don't pay zero tax. Zero. That we would like to pay tax, but they've already set up the business on the trust. And trust is unbreakable, especially in the UK. The people from the UK, they've already set up that way so they can't even break it. So what does the fuck? Why are you investigating something you know you're not going to get an outcome from? Why? But the dumb in the street would take the aggression down the street and start terrorizing people. Because they're the ones you can take your aggression on. But the billionaires, they're sleeping on their yacht. Going all those Epstein Islands, unaliving people and sleeping with everything that they can find. You don't take your aggression on them. Or your politicians who are their friends, instead of you to go and crash out in the Senate House, tell them that they need to pass the law to open everything so you can know who own all the properties. There was some statistics, which I really don't put a lot of loop into statistics. That's something about me. Yes, some statistics are valid. I like to break things down. Who paid for those statistics? Conversation for another day. But there was some statistics that shows that there's a lot of houses here in Australia that they're empty. Then ask yourself, wait, why would you buy a house and you leave it empty, unoccupied? Why? Because one, you can afford it. Number two, because it creates a whole lot of loopholes for you that nobody can hold you accountable for. Because it's been built under all kind of trust and shell companies that if they start going through it, they will use AI. AI will spend 10 years, you still won't find who owns it. Because that's how they've structured it. They've structured a bulletproof system, the trust system for all these billionaires to hide all their wealth without paying tax. They're using it to every day. But you take your stupid aggression, you go down the street, Mr. Dum Dum, you go and terrorize the entire neighborhood because you're feeling that the system is not fair. You donkey, the system has never been fair. The system was not written for me or for you. The system is written for the elite, for them to get away with everything they want to get away with at any time. You work all your life so you can earn money to put food on the table. These guys, they don't work. They pass information and instructions to the three best friends that they have ever had. A politician, a lawyer, and a banker. These are the guys that they both fucking us every day. But you donkey, you take your aggression off the street. One more time again. I wish a motherfucker would. I swear to God, this time in my life, I'm not scared of death. I'm not at all. You do some shit around me, you and I were going to see grave together. I swear. You think you're crazy? You think you're frustrated what's going on in the world? I am way more frustrated than you. I wish a motherfucker would. I swear. The people you should take your fucking aggression on, go and take it on them. You dumb idiots. Let's move on, Joe.
Our economy is almost entirely fake at this point, and there are no easy ways to fix it.
I'm not weighing into that. You can answer.
Okay, so...
Really, you think there's no way to fix it?
No. So there's no easy ways to fix it. So basically what I'm saying is this. In 2007, the end of 2007, we had zero debt. No, it wasn't zero debt. We had $53 billion debt, in fact, if my memory is correct. $53 billion of debt in an economy our size, which is basically zero. Since then, are you ready? 2026, 19 years, if you count federal, state, and quangos and government, all their debt, it is over $2 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So ask yourself, in that 19 years, the $2 trillion in debt, what have they done with the $2 trillion in debt? I know a lot of people have taken a whole lot of shit. They buy a lot of things, build a lot of houses, buy a lot of things, pay zero tax in many ways that they can. Ask yourself, what has $2 trillion done for Australia in the last 20 years? Where is the infrastructure to correspond with it? Where is the technology hub that Australia is supposed to be? China is down the backyard there. What have we tried? What is Australia known for today? These are some of the things that a lot of people don't think. Checks and balances. But unfortunately, let me be quiet.
From zero. Mm-hmm. $2 trillion. Do you know what a billion is? A billion is 1,000 million. A trillion is a million.
Whoa.
And you sent me that video the other night, right? This is a good example. You sent me that video the other night, and it was... It was Senate estimates.
Yeah.
Because you've all of a sudden got interested in this stuff because you find it humorous. Not in a sick way.
I would love to be asking questions.
You would be very good at it. They'd never let you in there. They'd never let you in there. They're never going to let you and me into politics. And it was like, did you spend $20 million on the campaign to tell people...
It was $2 million.
Hang on, no. Total campaign.
Oh.
To tell people how to save petrol during the crisis. And $2 million of that was spent on creative to tell people to pump up their tyres and remove their roof racks.
Yeah.
$2 million, right? And do you know what the department people are like? Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on. And then she asked the guy, what car do you drive? He goes, Range Rover. And did you take your roof racks? No, I didn't. Right. Anyway, but this is the point, right? $2 million, $2 trillion. There have been 1 million of those decisions, debt-wise, in the last 20 years. So yes, our economy is fake. It is all based on building up debt, and to fix it is going to be hard.
I think if Australia is not careful, Australia is going to fall into the same rabbit hole America is, because everything America is doing, Australia is doing the same thing too, unfortunately. Accumulating debt so much that all the debts they're getting accumulated, it's going to be the next generation that will pay for it. Then the cycle continues again. There was going to be a lot of borrow. And there's a lot of creation to go with compensating with all those borrows. There's not going to be enough infrastructure or create a system whereby you now become an asset. Okay? You become an asset. People, you can say all you want about China. Like Trump would say, China. Say China. You can say all you want about China. China 30 years ago, China today, they're not the same China. They're a different China. They became an asset to the world. In fact, they became the world production house. Everything in your house is made in China. Like China. Let me say it again. Including your spoon that you use to eat your coffee in the morning, or your tea, or your pasta. It's made in China. Why is that? Because they had a foresight. They had a foresight. What China did was clever like a motherfucker. Yeah, it's not perfect. I get it. Show me where it's perfect in this world. Where? None. The bottom line is that they did that. They send the kids, yeah, go to Germany, go to France, go to Holland, go and acquire knowledge. Yeah, come back home. No, I need to go back there because they're offering more money. No. We will offer you 3 years. Stay here. Build everything that you get. Build here. Take their cars. Take their Tesla car. Strip it apart. Yeah, how can we build the same thing? Leadership. They became the world production house. They produce everything. They became an asset. But when we have leadership that would rather go to a bank and borrow money, when they borrow money, they will spend it unnecessarily on the most stupid thing you could ever think about. Then the debt is going to accumulate. Then the bank will start calling, hey, time for you to pay off, man. Your debt is getting, okay. How much is my debt? 20 billion. Yeah. I need to finish that production. Okay, borrow me another 20 billion at 5 more interest rate. You sure? Yeah. Now you have 100 billion with 30 or 40 percent interest rate. The interest rate alone is going to take you 25 years to pay that one. Not even talk about the debts that you own. And yet, you're not a world manufacturer. You don't, beside, the thing in the northern territory, in Perth, or the minings, some selling chicken, cow and goat and whatever it is, yeah, some minor stocks, some milk. What else? What else that is going to equate $2 trillion in Australian economy? What value are we producing here in Australia? What is the value? What is Australia known for? Tell me something that is packaged, made in Australia. What? Everything is get imported, refined, and then sell it back to the people and shipped out away again. Like, swear to God, it's not fucking rocket science. But the thing is that some numb out there will just listen to a lot of racist shit. They will go online and start saying a lot of stupid, dumb things. And yet, their life is still the same. Because you don't think. Critical thinking skills is so fucking difficult. Like I always said, thinking is not fucking illegal yet. And thanks to AI, that one is gone too. People will not be able to critical think for themselves. In 20 years, Australia has accumulated over $2 trillion in debt. Where is the proof? If you acquired $2 trillion in debt, what have you built? By now, that 20 years, this should start generating more compound for you. But no, you actually need to go into the bank and borrow more money. Don't forget, the banks, the politicians, the lawyers, they have one particular friend in mind, the billionaires. Those are the ones that really... So get your foot off an immigrant's neck and stop whinging and stop complaining. Go and fight and go and crash out on what you need to crash out on.
It's going to be hard. Court of unpopular
I don't
opinion.
think that's unpopular.
No, the fix is like what's going to have to happen to fix it is very unpopular. I guarantee it. We could do it, by the way. Serious people could do it in a year. Could turn the trajectory in a year, but they're not going to do it. You saw the figures that came out. You wouldn't have seen them. The GDP figures. We're in like a 4-year per capita recession. No one cares. 15 billion on a project in Victoria. No one cares. Doesn't matter.
Probably not.
And yet, if no one cares, but the people that are suffering it, they're taking the aggression on immigrants. Does that make sense? What would immigrants do for you? Would immigrants change and write different policies? Will they? Do they have the access to have a volunteer in the Senate House for them to change and write policies that will show exactly what they've done with all the debts that they've acquired? Why people can't think? Why? The hatred in your spirit is so magnified that you can't even comprehend that you are bound in so many different ways. Why is thinking in such a fucking illegal thing in 2026? When does the debt that was acquired by the government has something to do with immigrant? Do you think they're taking debt because of immigrants? Is that what you think?
Nigeria has begun repatriating hundreds of its citizens from South Africa and is now threatening retaliatory measures as diplomatic tensions between the two countries spike over a deadly wave of xenophobic violence. Here's what is happening. South Africa has long attracted migrants from across the continent, drawn by the country's relatively advanced economy. As of 2022, foreign nationals made up around 2.4 million, roughly 3.7% of the population. But many South Africans believe undocumented migrants are driving unemployment and straining public services. Since late April, thousands of South Africans have taken to the streets across Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Durban, demanding mass deportations. What began as demonstrations organized by the group March and March escalated into violence, with reports of looting, assaults, and killings targeting foreign nationals. According to Nigeria's Consul General in Johannesburg, one man died after allegedly being assaulted by the South African military personnel, while another was arrested and later found dead in a mortuary. In response, Nigeria has started repatriating citizens who wish to leave South Africa. Other African governments have taken similar steps. Ghana repatriated more than 600 citizens, while Mozambique brought home over 700 people after authorities said 5 Mozambicans were killed during the attacks. The violence has placed growing pressure on South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. His government has announced tougher immigration measures, including stricter penalties for employers who hire undocumented migrants, specialized deportation courts, and a national biometric registration system. But Ramaphosa has also warned citizens against taking immigration enforcement into their own hands. That warning reflects a broader concern. For years, vigilante groups such as Operation Dudula have carried out campaigns against migrants, conducting their own inspections of businesses and attempting to restrict access to public services. But in November 2025, a South African court ruled against them, ordering that access to healthcare be restored. But none of this is new. South Africa experienced major outbreaks of xenophobic violence in 2008, 2015, and 2019, each triggering diplomatic disputes with countries whose citizens were targeted. The deeper problem has never changed. Analysts say decades of apartheid rule left South Africa with high levels of unemployment, crime, and social inequality, and eventually became frustrations directed at foreigners. Now, with anti-immigration activists demanding that undocumented migrants leave the country by June 30 and threatening further violence if they do not, fears are mounting that the crisis could escalate even further. The question facing South Africa is no longer just how to manage migration. It is whether the country can prevent another cycle of xenophobic violence from spiraling into a broader regional crisis.
So, yeah, now we get to the place you guys might be waiting for. All right? For those who don't know, I'm an African. In fact, I'm a Nigerian, a proud Nigerian to be precise. All right, let's do this shit. You see, a couple of days ago, I had this discussion already, and I said, I told Africans, all the Africans, I said, if you're a foreigner, pack your bag in the next 2 years and leave South Africa. And like I said again, the same thing we're coming across everywhere in the world. Now, even though in our motherland, I use the word loosely, man. Even though in Africa, we're doing it to ourselves because the inconvenience is even transferred over there. Xenophobia is something that has been going on in Africa now, especially only in South Africa. I've heard all the excuses you can find in the book. I've heard all the jamajangwa excuses that they can come up with. Why? Africans need to go. You need to leave my country. You need to leave my country. I heard the reason why you need to leave my country. All I'm going to say is that just remember what South Africans are doing today. Remember, don't forget. You see, I'll say it again one more time. You see, Karma has a big dick. Pause. Karma has a big dick. When he's ready to fuck you, it doesn't use lube. Nah, it doesn't do that. Pause. Oh, you think Africans are forgetting this? Nah, they're not going to forget. As you can see at the World Cup, how they were booing South Africans. You watch. So South Africans continuing this rhetoric. Now Ghana is doing it. There's been few other countries. Kenya, I heard they're doing it. You see now, we've contaminated this disease. Xenophobia now is an African thing. Other Africans telling other Africans to leave their country. I don't even want to talk too much about this, but Africans, if you're watching me, if you get to see this video, if you're any part of other Africans, if you live in any way, find a way to go back home. Find a way to go back home. I know it's really fucked up. It's super fucked up. Find a way to go back home. Because one of the worst things you can find is that if an enemy tells you to leave, that's different. But the most painful one is when the people that you think that you know, the closest people to you, which is supposed to be your family, once they're telling you to leave, leave. But don't forget. All right? South Africans, well done. Continue. You're going to have your country back. But let me show you some videos about what's going on in that place. Just to let you have a better understanding.
Government that does not care. Yeah. We as Gauteng residents, we as South Africans, we had enough. Yeah. And they will say in Afrikaans, genoeg is genoeg.
Ladies and gentlemen, a South African man. Well done. I'm not going to say too much.
Penuel the Black Pen. While you have been distracted by the illegal foreigners saga in South Africa, which is driven by false propaganda by many continental forces, what I mean by that is there's a lot of African leaders who are falsely accusing South Africans of xenophobia. Meanwhile, they won't take accountability for their citizens being in South Africa illegally. It's bullshit. But while you're distracted by this noise, because normally when there's noise in one direction, it means other things are busy happening in the background or have been ignored.
Fact.
The Phala impeachment process has started for Cyril Ramaphosa to see if he is fit to remain president. South Africa has been exporting weapons worth tens of millions of dollars to the United States of America, and they've been taken to court for this. Foot and mouth disease is devastating livestock and leading to the killing of tens of thousands of cattle in South Africa. I know that they're trying to do something about it now. Since the beginning of the year, January 2026, the cost of petrol has gone up by 7 Rand 80 a litre and diesel by 10 Rand 70 a litre. The Football World Cup, good luck to Bafana who are taking on Mexico tonight, but the Football World Cup is being hosted in a country, the United States of America, that has been mass murdering people globally, kidnapping presidents, taking over oil fields and lying about white genocide in South Africa. Cyril Ramaphosa a few weeks ago met with BlackRock in Cape Town, very infamous company, to raise more debt for South Africans, which will be paid for by future generations.
Exactly. And this is the aspect of the old borrowing thing that I can't for the life of me just truly just want, like, what the fuck? Like, what's the actual fuck? When does borrowing money is the way to build an economy? Where? Why? I've said it. One of the most annoying shit things that I could recall in my life is that America is in over almost $40 trillion publicly in debt. And they're borrowing that money against their own currency. That one is not enough example for these so stupid African leaders. Nah. All the money they're borrowing is the next generation, is the kids they're yet unborn that will have to suffer the pain of paying that. And who is going to benefit from this? It's not one single African citizen. Yeah, some of those rich bastards and those stupid fucking politicians. Yeah, they will grow fat in this fucking big belly. Yeah, they will make a whole lot of fucking money. In fact, they will take all those money that they're borrowing, they will go and use it to build more houses in London. They will buy more house in Spain, in Luxembourg, in Monaco. They will hide it in a lot of offshore accounts. And then an African citizen, a kid that is yet unborn, will be born into debt, into poverty. So he's going to inherit the disease that was left behind because he was born into the most dysfunction, the lawlessness, lack of leadership environment any human being could ever come across. That is the life of an average citizen, African citizen, because we have the worst leadership on the planet of this earth, and it's not even close. The worst leadership by far. Literally. When does borrowing money with interest going to build any society? Interest. Why are you borrowing money? Why? Why can't we create a value and sell a value rather than borrowing money? It's not like we lack resources in that soil. There is enough resources in Africa. Enough for every African citizen not to work a day for the rest of their life if they choose to. But we have the worst leadership that we could ever find, that money could ever afford.
For those of you who may not know, BlackRock holds massive equity in South Africa's leading financial institutions, including an estimated 10% in Standard Bank, 8% in First Rand that owns FNB, 7% in Nedbank, and 6% in the Absa Group. Hangwani Maumela, who was implicated in the Madlanga Commission, has not been arrested on allegations of corruption linking him to the 2 billion rand that was looted from the Tembisa hospital. We've forgotten about Thabo Bester and Nandi Bamakutumana. We've forgotten about the Guptas. Bosasa corruption has been unresolved. The arms deal from decades ago, the corruption there has been unresolved.
And that's the thing. We can go on and on and on and on. Oh God. You know when it gets to a point whereby the only thing you've known all your life is nothing but chaos. You haven't experienced any sort of peace in your life. You haven't truly experienced any sort of joy in your life. All you've experienced is chaos all your life. Just think about that. The only thing you've ever experienced is hardship, poverty. That is what you grew up into. That is what built your psyche. Huh? You can develop your mindset to go from a survival instinct constantly to a thriving instinct. In fact, you're going against the current. You're going against the current of life. Because everything in your life is so fucking difficult because you have the worst set of people to be your parent, to be your leadership. That is what African leadership has done to Africa as large. Fuck.
COVID PPE money looted has not been resolved. The banks who have rigged Forex, foreign currency, that has been swept under the carpet. Cyril Ramaphosa a few weeks ago met with Emmerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, with a controversial businessman named Wicknell Chivayo. We don't know what that meeting was about. We don't know if it was state work or personal. The story of Uqetwa has disappeared into thin air, unfortunately, even though people were going crazy at the time when it was trending. We've got the NHI, Bella, Expropriation Without Compensation Acts that have been signed in, and life goes on. Internet censorship in South Africa and the digital ID have been made laws in South Africa and have been unrolled, in case you didn't know.
That's another thing again. There's digital. Now, for you to take a piece now, you need to put your address, your phone number, your face, your everything. Now, they're slowly creeping into it. Slowly. And if you think we live in an environment whereby we need to start building a whole different digital platform that has no any kind of government affiliation, with good controls though, because there's too many creepy motherfuckers out there that will start sharing nudity and selling people or whatever it is. Like, this human being, we are fucking messed up. I want that ship to come from wherever it's coming from and just, yeah, man.
Pay allegedly has screwed over their black franchisees who took over Score stores. If you've lived long enough, you know that that story is coming back to the fore. Ebola and the Hunter virus have killed people, but luckily South Africans have nothing to worry about, according to reports. 1 billion rand worth of drugs was found at the Bait Bridge border between Zimbabwe and South Africa. 36 million rand and 13 million rand worth of cocaine were found in Durban and also on their way to Gauteng. A 200 million rand drug bust from 2025 has not been resolved. Electricity is up between 8 and 9% since April 2026. Youth unemployment in South Africa is between 40 to 60%, depending on your age bracket. There are between 30,000 to 120,000 zamazamas in South Africa. 35,000 of our spaza shops are owned by foreigners. Anglo-American is leaving South Africa for Canada without full reparations for historical carnage and rehabilitation of the environment. Many parts of Hammanskraal still don't have clean water, sadly, and approximately 4,000 to 6,000 Afrikaners have moved to the United States of America as refugees. So what?
And yet, I remember President Trump opened the border. The Africans let me just shut up, man. There is no need. You understand?
You're thinking about illegal foreigners? Remember that these stories are still alive and well.
Our path forward is guided by the Constitution and shared commitment to the rule of law. Government calls on all undocumented and illegal immigrants currently within our borders to immediately comply with our laws and present themselves to law enforcement agencies or request to be repatriated. Our authorities are working with several countries that are also voluntarily repatriating their citizens back to their countries of origin. The South African government will not tolerate the circumvention of our immigration systems and laws. We also call upon employers to refrain from transgressing immigrations and labor laws. We call on all South Africans to reject the path of vigilantism, dismiss the noise of misinformation, and to partner with government as we restore stability to our neighborhoods.
And that's the most saddest part of it, is that you get all this information from South Africa. Now the government is very, very interested because they want to change the situation and they want to improve. All I'm going to say is that South Africa, I hope your country have the peace that you're looking for, and I hope you generally get what you're looking for. But let me tell you something. What you guys did this time around, there is no African country will ever forgive you guys again. Ever. Just keep that in mind. Moving forward, though. But this man, I've been listening to him now lately now. I'm beginning to start, I don't want to use the word fall in love. Pause. No Didi. But I begin to respect this man from a different point of view. It speaks a lot of truth that I think it needs to be heard. Unfortunately, a man like this is not getting the amount of support that he really needs in South Africa. I know that a lot of South Africans hate his guts, which is really surprising to me. A lot of people hate him. I don't know. I don't live in South Africa. I don't know his past transgression. I'm not interested. But when I listen to what he says, yes, there is something somebody says and there's what they do in closed doors. There could be two different things. But based on what this man says, his messages, I don't understand why South Africans hate him. But I want him to explain something that I've been saying personally myself, and I've said it. But let him say it because it will resonate a little bit different because he's a South African politician.
Nothing. You are defending a white man's property. This South Africa is owned by a white man. This South Africa is controlled by the white man. Don't tell me this is your country. You are foreigners because you have nothing to show. You go around claiming this is your country. Let's go outside. Show me papers that confirms you are the owner of this country. There's nothing. You don't own anything. Yet you call people foreigners. You are a foreigner yourself because you do not own.
Because last time I checked, South Africa is a country that the population, about 80% of the population of South Africans or black Africans or milk, melody, whatever you want to call it. And there's another, 15 or so percentage that owns about 80% of all the land in South Africa. That math is not mathing at all. I really don't understand what kind of math is that. But that is the situation that you find, unfortunately. But, and yet they are trying to put food on the table, but they don't even own the land that they live in. They don't have any kind of legal right to most of the lands. And that it doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm here to listen.
Foreigners means visitors. Visitors are people who just come empty-handed with a small bag. When the time permits, they go. That's you. You are renting. You are marching from the hostels, beating up people that they must leave South Africa. Yet you do not own a hostel. You are paying a rent in that hostel. You can be removed yourself from that hostel. You are telling people to leave your country. You come from an apartment. You come from a flat. You come from a house. You have no paper. When you return back home after taking out Zimbabweans, the white man will be at the door showing you the way out of the rented flat, out of the rented house, out of the rented apartment.
And it's the same thing all over the world because I think I reacted to one of his videos a couple of days ago. Go and watch it in my channel in the live stream section because that's where I'll put all the videos basically. He said the same thing in a funeral that you got invited into. He said the same thing. How can you build a future when you don't even own the land that the house you live in? The land does not belong to you. The land belongs to people who still have their hands around your neck. I mean, literally, basically. And yet, a lot of Africans, that stubbornness that we have, that sometimes works really well, that stubbornness, it's created a blindfold in all of us that we don't truly understand. Like I've said many times, for those who are just watching me for the first time, I'm what you call a decipher. Okay, decipher is a guy that looks through some situation and I can give you the real shit. For you who don't know, let me teach you something you've never heard in your life. Do you want to know the greatest weapon that was ever created? It wasn't a gun. No, the greatest weapon that was ever created is this. This is the most dangerous weapon that was ever created. Right here. A pen and a paper. Because, ladies and gentlemen, once you sign this, you're done. Once you sign this paper and a pen, if you sign a paper with this pen, you're done. So Africa is being controlled with this piece of paper. because that's where allegedly your constitution is going to be written on, and that is going to justify it. And you have to go because you are civilized, right? Yeah, it's civilized, man. We go based on what they wrote on a piece of paper. This is the most dangerous weapon, not a nuclear weapon. This is the most dangerous weapon that was ever created. And Africans were too dumb, too stupid to truly understand the legality and technicalities why this shit is still controlling our lives. And we don't even understand how to get out of it. That is why South Africa as a country, the people that came, and not only they invade you, not only they took so-and-so called your land. These people, they are less than 50% of your entire population, and they own more land than your great-great-grandfather, your great ancestors could ever own. And yet, you will see another fellow Africans from a different country nearby, illegal, and you will match, terrorize them, take their store, beat them up, take their resources. Then you get out of my country. Okay. Like I said, karma has a big dick. Don't forget.
You have nothing to show. Yet you claim this is your country. You have nothing. You are defending a white man's property. This South Africa is owned by a white man. This South Africa is controlled by the white man. Don't tell me this is your country. When people are burning buildings, you are rushing, protecting them. Those are not your buildings. Those are white man's buildings.
I want to pause it for a second, really, because I want to shout out to all the guys who are watching. Thanks for those who are commenting. I'm just going to read a quick comment by what somebody said. It said, there was no white language in Africa before the white man arrived. So, see, I'm going to try and make this live stream as cool as relaxed, because I do appreciate you guys for watching, and I think it's quite very good to educate ourselves a little bit. You see, when we having this read, this is not against white man or no. This is understand, because the same thing is happening in Ireland. Okay? The same thing is happening in Sweden, in Canada, in America. In the UAE, they literally put an embargo on list of African countries that people, you're not welcome. They ban them. They can ban Africans around the world. Even the closest people to us, which is another African, is now asking other Africans to get out of that country. Okay? You see, we've inherited the same mentality, same belief. This is not, and I'll say again one more time, this is not an antagonization against white people or not, because we should pass that already. I want us to move on the way China did, the way they rebuild themselves. Now, as you can tell, I did a live stream about this. Go and check the channel. President Trump went to China and he went to go and kiss the ring. That is what you call when you change the trajectory of your past. I'll say it again one more time. You want to change the trajectory of your past? Fix your future. I'll say it again one more time. You want to change the trajectory of your past, which is oxymoron, because you cannot change the past. If you really want to change the past, fix your future. That is when the world leaders will start coming to your door and start knocking door, because now they have to come and play ball. Pause. No diddy. That's how China did it. So you expect our African leaders, if they have any common brain in their head, with all the resources that we have in that soil, all of you cannot come together? Huh? All of you African leaders, you cannot come together, start your own African summit, just only African leaders, no foreign interference at all? And you put together, I say, all your natural resources, when we combine it together, it's what, about between 20 to 100 trillion dollars? Huh? So we can do it to build one currency, have one currency backed by all of our natural resources. We build one currency. Every person that have gold or oil, whatever you want to call it together, we combine it to build one currency. We pay all of our debt. Now we are no more in debt. Because that is all it requires. It requires for all of us to come together and put all our resources together in one pot, backed by one currency. Not even the BRICS. We do that, we create one currency. Now we can pay all of our debts. Now we're not entitled to nobody. Now we can create our community however we choose fit to improve the next generation, so we can clean the atrocities of the past. Because the longer we keep waiting for this Western society for them to acknowledge what is wrong, they're never going to acknowledge it. They show it proof. March 26 this year, they refused to acknowledge that slavery was crime against humanity. Literally, including your Australia here too. They didn't vote. I did a video about it. It blew my mind. The UK didn't acknowledge that slavery was crime against humanity. You want to know what the justification why they didn't acknowledge? Because acknowledging means that they have to pay some restitution. And yet, all the bronze in the museum in the UK, they didn't return it. The one in France too is the same thing. People talk about UK quite a lot. Do you want to know the atrocities that France committed in Africa? What about Belgium? What about Switzerland? What about Spain? What about Holland? They're not going to acknowledge it. But the only way we can, I'll say again one more time, the only way we can restitute the wrong of the past, we need to fix our future. When we fix our future, don't worry. That is the only way we can erase the wrong of the past. But as long as we keep manifesting into this borrow mentality, fucking go to IMF again to go and borrow hundreds of billions of dollars that you motherfuckers are not going to be alive to pay for, that you're going to leave debt for the next generation to take on. Yeah.
You have nothing. Stop hating on your future employers. These people are going to hire you. They are the most polite people. Even when they are educated, they still work for small jobs that pay nothing. They don't have pride. They know that you have to work to serve and feed your families. That's why they are here. One day, like it almost happened in Cuba when Obama wanted to lift the embargo against Cuba, one day it is going to happen.
That's another thing again. Human right? America, human right. Cuba has been a country that's been a shackle of America for the last, 40, 50, 60 years? Cuba. So today, some part in Cuba, as I'm speaking to you right now, they don't have electricity. None. Why? Because America is a very nice country, right? Very cheerful. The best country in the world. Cuba, down there in Miami, close to Miami, they didn't have light. Do you know what did it? It was America. They put an embargo on a country because they didn't want to play ball. And do you know who orchestrated it? It was a corporation. Yeah. It was a corporation that orchestrated. Go and educate yourself. All right? Go and educate yourself.
I pray to the ancestors of the revolution that it happens when I'm still alive, so that I can replay these videos and say, I warned you about harassing your future employers. I warned you about exploiting the people who are going to share their land with you because they've done it before. Why didn't Mugabe take the land immediately? He waited for you to get your freedom. Because had Mugabe take the land immediately, it would have caused a serious problem to a point where South Africa will not be liberated. They were a frontline state. They gave us a passage. They accommodated us.
I did a video a couple of days ago, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, about put down the fucking Bible and the Quran. Excuse my friend. I said put down the Bible and put down the Quran. They both have the same impact on African lives. When I say put down, I don't mean that you have to forgive or forget your religion, but put it down. Don't let it influence your decision when it comes to a world economy, the way the world has been structured. But a lot of Africans, they're too daft. They don't get it. It's only Africans that will wait, look into the sky, waiting for rapture to come, while a foreign corporation is digging mines, digging a whole lot of things, taking all resources out of their ground. Africans can go to church, clap their hands from now till Sunday, and yet the little money they have, they'll still give it to the same damn stupid pastors. The same cycle continues over and over and over again. And then when you have some people who break out of it, now the entire world is whinging and complaining. Oh, you're just gonna go to hell. Aren't we in hell already? This is hell. This is not, there's no heaven. This is hell. We're already living in hell. This is why one man can worth $1 trillion. The first time in record history in the last 2,000 years. Because the last time a man was that rich was Mansa Musa. He's a Malian. I think his wealth, today's currency, it was approximated to what, about $4 trillion. This man would travel hundreds of kilometers, thousands of kilometers, and just give people gold, because there was so many gold then. That's how much money is worth. But today, one man is worth $1 trillion, and he was born to one of the most racist family you can find on the planet of this earth. Yes, I fucking said it. Go and check it if you think I'm lying. That man is worth $1 trillion without selling you one pack of chewing gum or biscuit. That man is worth $1 trillion without selling you nothing. And that man has more leverage. And you tell me because he built his company. I know he done a lot of great things. There's a lot of people who worship this man. And I don't think any one of them can go to this man and he's going to say, yeah, I'm going to change your life. No. But an African man will get on his knees and pray to Allah. I leave it to Allah. And your kids are going to be born into debt. I'll leave it to Jesus. Your son is going to be born into debt. Your daughters will be born into poverty. You leave it to Jesus. You spend 3, 4, 5 days a week going to church, not acquiring skills, not doing a trade. You will spend more time singing and praying God. Holy Jesus, holy moly moly, holy, holy, holy. And yet you don't have enough money to take your daughters to the hospital. In fact, your community, they don't even have the best equipment in the hospital. But you can sing to Jesus. You can bend your knees to Allah. Allah will do it. Huh? Hold on. Continue.
We stayed in their homes. They gave us food. They gave us shelter. They never called us names. Today it's our turn to say thank you. We become animals. It is not the spirit of Ubuntu what you are doing to these comrades of Zimbabwe. Comrades, the white people, the way they control us, we love them and we say they give us jobs. But the way they've made us to hate each other, even if a Nigerian was to come here and create 100,000 jobs, you will still beat that Nigerian because you want 100,000 jobs provided by a white man. When it is a job provided by a black man, it's not a job enough. They've instilled in you a culture of self-hate.
And that is so very profound. I 100% agree with what he just said. 1,000. It's not even 100. I 1,000% agree with this man. Because I did the experiment myself. I did the theory myself. And I found out that actually is true. The level of hatred and the malice that we Africans keep to ourselves, it is unbelievable. And I can associate this to the classic case of poverty. You see, when you're poor, you will look for whatever you can for you to get the resources you can't afford at all times. So sometimes you have to oppress the same people who look just like you, who are suffering from the same condition like you, because your justification is that I need to survive. I got to do what I got to do. This is why the level of hatred that Africans have between themselves, I swear to God, is extremely laughable. It is sad. It's sickening. It's frustrating. This is why it's so sad that when you see how the world is today, I don't understand why we Africans, of all the people in the world, we are the most traumatized people on the planet of this earth. Asians don't fucking like us. White people, they don't like us. Middle Easterns, they don't want to see our guts. Now, even our African in our own soul, we don't even want to fucking tolerate each other. Why? Because the seed of poverty is ingrained in our psychology that we will come with every justification in the book why I need to get my own. And the cycle continues. We pass the same knowledge to the next generation. They will inherit the same habit, inherit the same culture, and the same thing will continue. Because technically, according to every scripture they can find, we are the real Israelite, not the ones that they call themselves today. You understand? We literally doing ourselves. Pause. But we can't fucking wake out of it. Because the one thing that I've heard Africans complain about why we can't unify is because we're different. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have, for any Africans that get to watch this, in Nigeria we have jollof rice. Senegal, they're the founders of jollof rice, according to the information I have. I don't know how accurate it is or not. Ghana has their own. You see, one of the most dumbest things that I've come to really listen so many times is that when people talk about why African is not going to work, they talk about our differences, our language, our culture. So you want to tell me that China, they all speak the same language in China? You want to tell me that in Middle East, they only speak one native Arabic? You think they don't have dialect? Why? When those differences become a deterrent for success? When you have variation of the same thing, of different, similar thing, but when you don't have one direction, it's never going to work. That is the classic case of Africa. Africans will highlight the reason why we're not going to work together more than why we should understand our differences actually make us unique, because we see things from different perspective. You bring your own. Senegal bring your own. Ghana bring your own. Egypt bring your own. Ethiopia bring your own. We bring different varieties into it. We have a goal. It's like there's this, I don't know how accurate this is. The guy that created all these slides that we have, they said he tried about 999 times. People were making fun of him. He said, I'll just figure out one way to make it work. And as soon as he made it work, now you have different variation of people make globes all over the world. We just need one objective: elevate Africa out of fucking poverty. It's not like we don't have the resources to do so, but the stupid problem we have is that we always want to highlight our differences like it's some fucking taboo. Differences is what's supposed to actually help us, because we'll be able to fix problem with 54 different ways, not just only one way. Food for thought. Let's continue.
You lack confidence in black people because you are not confident yourself.
Fact.
So it is not correct that all Nigerians are drug dealers. They are Nigerian drug dealers.
Fact.
We must find them.
Fact.
We must deal with them decisively.
Yes.
We must isolate them.
Yes.
We must isolate them and teach them a lesson which they will never forget.
Fact.
So that they don't leave South Africa to go and try it somewhere else.
Fact.
Particularly in the African continent.
Fact. And I agree with it. Yeah. I'm a Nigerian. I don't hold back on some shit. You do some fuckery like that, they catch you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You do some dumb shit like that, I don't know. Nah. Because the thing is that The reputation of Nigerians all over the world, I've done a lot of videos about it. I've talked about it from every spectrum. Relationship, currency, money. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not valid. But fucking damn it, you do some fuckery shit, they catch you. Put him somewhere.
We do not dispute.
People keep complaining and telling you that the reason African countries can't develop is because the white people stole their resources. It's a lie. There are 4 resources nobody can steal. Water is one of them. Did you see tanks from Britain taking all your water away? No. Fela sang a song in 1981. Water house, food house. He was complaining about there is water overground. The Niger River goes through Nigeria. No Nigerian can get a cup of water, pure one, from his pipe in his own room.
And that's the case because we have politicians who have been looting us. And this is when I'm never going to point to colonization for this. Yeah, colonization is just a system that was taken over by the most greedy set of bastards this world could ever produce. Yes, I call you Nigerian politicians, I call you bastards. I know many of you are old enough to be my ancestors. May God continue to punish you wherever you are. I don't give a fuck. Many of you are fucking bastards. Yes, I said it. Yeah, many of you are. Many of you, you've been there since the day Nigeria got independent. You haven't left. This is the same country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to expose Nigeria for you to let you know. I'm born in Nigeria. My entire life, I lived in Nigeria before I traveled away from home. We've never had 24 hours non-disruptive electricity ever in my life. For you to go 1 week without non-disruptive electricity, what? You're wishing. But guess what? The Nigerian government, they've borrowed billions. Let me say it again. Billions of dollars they've borrowed in the sake of electricity. And today, the entire country still don't have it. In fact, now they've privatized it. According to what I heard. Now it's down to the highest bidder. So an average person doesn't even have the means for them to even have a light on. How do you expect businesses to come and start up a company there? The ones that are doing there, they have to pay a fucking premium to keep it going. Let me be quiet, Jari.
And one is land. You have vegetative land in Nigeria. If Japan own it, they will feed half of the world with food export.
What are you talking about? Cameroon right there. Cameroon alone will feed the entire world. A small country in Africa. Cameroon has one of the best soil on the planet of this earth. And it's not even close. And yet, their president is 92 years old. If you think I'm lying, go and check it. He actually came back to this year. President Biya, 92 years old. This man is already working mommy already. Cameroon alone can feed the entire planet because how good their soil is, including Nigeria.
The third one, solar energy. 365 days, we don't get winter, we don't get spring, we don't get autumn. It's there. Have you harvested it? You go build an electric car. When you can't even give people electricity in their homes in Burkina Faso, what are you going to use to charge? So solar, that's the third one.
So in terms of that solar, there's a video that was trending a couple of weeks ago. Let me see if I can quickly find this video. About a lady that was showing exactly the China solar farm. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Like it's literally unbelievable the level of
China dominates the.
You understand? It's unbelievable the way they've structured it. It's god damn it, man. Yeah, you can tell me I'm kissing China's ass all you want. I don't give you shit. All right? I don't give you shit. But the truth needs to be said. China's solar farm, it's unfucking believable. I think this is the lady that was talking about it. Let me quickly move this away. Let me show you, because if I tell you, you might not believe it. Watch it yourself. Let us say
shock from the Iran war, and China's been able to offset some of the energy shock from the Iran war and the Strait of Hormuz being shut, in part because of its commitment, its shift to renewable energy in recent years. Like here in northwestern Gansu province, where this major solar thermal power plant rises out of the desert, you can see streams of light there beaming from these 12,000 mirrors, which move with the sun, redirects that sunlight onto that central tower there, heating molten salt to extreme temperatures. Now, they say in just 1 hour altogether, they're able to generate enough energy for a family's regular use in China for about 40 years. In fact, they say the tower generates enough energy by itself to power the equivalent of Aspen, Colorado for a year. China's been able to offset some of the energy.
And yet, they can go and borrow billions of dollars on the sake of infrastructure. Checks and balances, ladies and gentlemen. You can't find one. But it's not like the technology is not there. Even though if you don't have the technology, can you go and buy one? Can you go and get on your knees and kiss the ring for China for them to build one for you? So that you don't have to depend too much on petrol, crude oil. We have solar energy all over the planet, all over the continent rather. Put solar on Sahara Desert. That will power the entire Africa itself. Imagine you put solar panel in Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Chad, all this country. So it's beaming down this way. Do you know how much? We don't have to pay. We have everything and yet we don't fucking have one word, one voice. I beg.
So the fourth one is, of course, manpower resources, okay? From the intellect into physical. They didn't take it away. So all four things that help other countries to build themselves, you have it. You have it more than anybody. The Congo has water reserve enough to feed the whole of Central Africa for the next 250 years and not even have a drop. The kids in Congo can't even take a clean shower because of lack of water.
Why? Because it's fucking embezzlement. It's the same old shit. It's the same old shit. It's the same old shit. Nothing has changed. It's not for lack of resources. It's fucking management of resources. Mismanagement. Then they will sprinkle a lot of race, a lot of tribalism. Then you speak a lot of religion into it. Then you speak a lot of custom and tradition into it. And yes, the entire world is progressing. We are sitting on something that most people would die for. They're literally dying for it. And yet we don't fucking know the value because we have the most spineless leadership that the world could ever produce.
Turkana is the northern part of Kenya. It took some foreign guys from Denmark to tap into the aquifer to know that Turkana has over 200 trillion, I don't know even the number, how they measure water, liters in Kenya. But the people of Turkana, every year, their cattle and humans who die. They can't tap the water to feed themselves.
So what do you think the internal issue is?
We have seen clearly that nothing has been taken away. You have everything. So when we are now blaming the colonials for stealing resources, which is a boogeyman we use just to explain, as if we are the only ones who were colonized. If stealing of resources is the reason for colonization, Benin will not be colonized. We have nothing but coconut trees on the beach. Gambia wouldn't be colonized. Fiji Island wouldn't be colonized. Many places, Gambia wouldn't be colonized.
I know, I said, I think it was last year or so, I had a live stream when I had this discussion really. I said like, fucking put the fingers down for a second. Before you start pointing your finger, oh, white man, colonization, point the fingers back at you like this. You. Point it back at you and see where you can channel the direction. Many of us were not slaves, but what have we done with the resources that we have today? Mismanagement of resources. Mismanagement because we don't have leadership. The same cycle fucking continues as usual.
It's not for stealing resources. Colonials, they don't steal resources, and they didn't. Everything you discovered now was discovered after colonization. But we use it as a boogeyman. And when we're not talking about resources, the countries that don't have resources, they say, oh, it's our leaders, they're corrupt. It's not true. Those leaders you have that you keep saying, where did you employ them from? The question.
It's a good question. It's the same thing I told someone the other day. Like I said, point the finger back at you like this. Point it back at you, because the thing is that we are the reflection of our leadership. Because the entire continent has a psychology of a poverty, of a man that has been injected with the psyche of a poverty, poverty psyche. Because even though when you have something in abundance, you won't value it, because your brain is in a poverty state of mind constantly. You don't even understand the value of what you have. Because if you don't understand the value of what you have, you won't ask the right questions. You won't seek the right knowledge for you to tap into the resources that you have. In China, God, let me show this last one.
Here was explained almost over 60 years ago by the first Minister of Government of Singapore. And I'm going to play the video and you're going to listen, and I'm going to delve into that, because this is the message which I have been talking about, which led me to my conclusions, which now is being worked on into a publication called The Tribal Nation, the Only Solution to the African Problem. Listen to the first Prime Minister or Minister of Government of Singapore, what he said after he visited a few countries in Africa.
Why have all these countries gone down? They have taken power over from the British, the Dutch, the French, the Belgians, and look at the Congo. Look at Nigeria. 45 million people. They don't enjoy our standard of living. Vast natural resources. About 20 persons per square mile. Why? I've asked myself this often. Why? Because I must know the reason. Otherwise, I cannot fulfill my simple elementary function as a minister of the Singapore government. And I tell you, there are many reasons. First, the will to be a nation. If a group of human beings do not want to together constitute a nation, nothing can make them other than superior force.
Right there. This is the same thing I just said. When you can come again to have one goal, it doesn't matter what you say. You can come up with every fucking excuse you can think about. It won't fucking justify it. If you cannot come up with one goal, you can never achieve nothing. I played soccer. I mean football, not the stupid soccer American call it. Football, like it's going on the World Cup right now. I'm telling you, I've had some of my teammates, I despise their guts from year to day. But I promise you not. When we get on the field, we had one goal. We are a team. Even some of my teammates, I don't like them at all, and they don't like me, and I don't give a flying fuck. But when we on that 4 square place, we are one unit. We move together. We suffer together. We win together. We lose together. That is what that fucking continent needs. Literally. And that is the reason why this entire world is crashing on immigration. Go back to your country. Go back to your country. Go back to your country. You don't want white people here, man. We gotta go to good country, man. No, you fucking immigrants, mate. Yeah, I don't blame you, because even you don't have the best leadership. Okay, your leadership is been run by the people who actually control how the world works. Those ones that believe so much in the law. If you haven't seen it, I did a video about this a couple of days ago when I talk about the law. All right, the law was not written for you and I. Don't get it twisted. Okay. You want to get back your country, mate? You want to take back your country, mate? Yeah, you can take back a country you want, but just know that the law that they're written is not going to benefit you. Okay? You can crash out all you want. You can tell us to go back to our shithole all you want. The same law is still applied to us there. Because every resources they take from there, they will bring it back here too. Or every resources that was dig here, sent to someone else, the money is not coming to your pocket. So you got to ask, where is the money going? Who is passing the law? Who? It has to be someone. It's got to be someone who's benefiting from this, because the money is not coming to your account and they're taxing you more. Then you're crashing out on immigrants. Okay? And like I said again one more time, if you live in this world, if you think by any spectrum that this society was based on fairness, you are delusional than a motherfucker. Let me say it again one more time. If you, a grown-ass man, if you think the system was designed in fairness, you are delusional by far. Pause.
Emotional damage.
The law system was not written in fairness. It was written from a place of leverage. When I mean leverage, it was written from a place of leverage. So which means is that there is have and have not. So when you fall in this spectrum, there is nothing you can do. But there might be something you can do. But the frustration is not towards immigrant. The frustration, you need to go and ask for checks and balances. Because the immigrants are paying their own dues. They ain't living there for free. Especially here in Australia, you best believe it, the tax are getting their money. The tax are getting their money. And when they get it, ask yourself, what did they do with those tax money? In the UK, all right, they're collecting their tax and they don't give a shit. So before you want to, a lot of people claim to be and call people all kind of names and get back to your country, just remember, this is the system that was installed all over the world. Okay, even though if immigrants leave and go back to the country, nothing is still going to change because the system is still where it is. Because it was created in a place of leverage that will allow the elite of this world for them to hide their assets under all kind of offshore accounts. They don't pay zero tax. Okay, we're back. They allow the richest people in this world for them to hide their resources and pay zero tax. Alright? And you work hard. You're trying to feed your family, trying to put food on the table. You're doing all the right thing, but for some reason, the money is not staying in. You're 20, 30 year, 40, going to 40-year-old man. You can't even afford to buy a house. Why? Because the system will make it really hard for you to even get a loan. Because you don't have a stable job. Your job is not even secure. You're not 100% guaranteed that you will even have a job for the next 10 years. What happens when you have an accident? What happens when you're sick? What happens when your wife divorces you? What happens when you break your leg? Or what happens when your parents aren't alive? Who's going to provide for them? You have to do it. The system doesn't give you shit. The system is designed to exploit everyone that doesn't have. The law are written in the benefit of the people who can afford the lawyers, who can be friends with the politicians, who can put more money in the bank without paying tax. That is how the system was written. So when you go outside, you destroy properties, just remember, you will be the one to pay for it. Oh, you...
Emotional damage.
Let me educate you one more time. You go outside, you go and destroy properties because you're protesting. You will be the one to pay for it. Oh, yeah. What do you think they're going to pay those insurance company for? You think they're going to manufacture money? And they will take money out of your tax. The money that was supposed to go back to you, they will take it and pay the insurance companies. Yeah. Wait, how do you think they pay that? How do you think they pay insurance companies? You think they just go to the banks and print more money to pay insurance companies? You think insurance company give a shit about in fact, they can't wait for you to protest. They want you to destroy the property. So go out there and destroy more properties. You come back next week and do the same thing. We're fighting a system that is both crippling both of us, but a lot of people cannot think for themselves. Yeah, I understand you're frustrated. I'm frustrated too. All right? But stop killing black people. Stop being all fucking racist in your spirit, in your mind, because you're mad, you're angry. All right? We're getting fucked by the same institution, by the same system. Don't forget this. If you learn anything from this live stream today, there's 3 particular group of people that you need to understand how it works. A politician, a lawyer, a banker, they have one common goal. They have a client that pays the bills, that keeps them afloat. The billionaires, the elite, the people that you don't Google their name on Google, they don't show up. The people that they're so invincible, even when they walk past you, you don't even know who they are. Because that is how the tax system has been structured. For you to be in plain sight, but you're invincible at the same time. Let me say it again. You're in plain sight, but you're completely invincible. People don't even know you have a trust fund. Because it's hidden under legality of highest bullshit, mumbo jumbo. There is no amount of law in this world that can penetrate it. Because that is how the system was written to hide wealth. That is why someone can worth $1 trillion today, and I promise you, it's going to pay zero tax. Oh yeah, you damn skippy. It's going to pay zero tax. And you crash the street. You will attack strangers. You will destroy properties. You will even hurt people. Not even verbally. You will threaten them. That is the frustration you're feeling, and you need to take it out on them. So by every property you destroy, by every people you destroy their lives, like I said again one more time, karma has a fucking big dick. And karma is going to catch you one day. And karma is not going to do this. Nah. Karma is going to do you raw. Yeah, I'm telling you. Don't worry. Karma is a fucking bitch. It's got a big dick too. Pause. No Didi. That's what's going to happen. So we need to change our mind, change how we think. I'll say it again for the gazillion time. Thinking is not illegal. It is not illegal to think. But think how things works before you start making fool out of yourself. Please, if you take any value out of this live stream, please do me a favor. Comment. If you agree, if you disagree with me, put your comments there. I'll read it and I'll respond to it. The first person that put a comment in, I'll pin it there on the page. Food for thought, like I always like to leave every live stream. Ask yourself a question. Have you ever thought maybe crime itself is another form of wealth for the billionaires? Have you ever thought for yourself that crime itself could be another form of wealth for the billionaires? Why a lot of criminal situations that we encounter in many societies or in many communities across everywhere. Because one of the major reasons why Sweden was looking to pass a law, maybe they've passed it into law, I don't know, was to pay other people to leave their country, was because a lot of people already benefiting from the system. Remember, chaos sells a lot. In fact, chaos makes more money than legal business. Let me say it again. Chaos makes more money than legal businesses. People would rather invest in chaos than invest in peace. That is why the new deal that was signed by President Trump. Let's see how long that is going to last. Because you and I both know that most likely it's not going to. Because that is how the system works. So all I'm saying is that this is not a rage bait, anti-white, anti-whatever it is. This is just to understand. You understand? And I get it. The mass migration is not going to change anything. I'm sorry to break your bubbles. It's not. In fact, it's only going to make it worse. Let me say it again. It's only going to make it worse. Because all those odd jobs that they complain that people are doing, how many people are going to go do those jobs? Little to no people will do it. Because number one is beneath them. Number one is low paying jobs. And yet, there's not going to be enough tax to go on to cover the already expenses that you already have within your community. That you gotta see my British UK people in general. Ask yourself, tell me, what is the job the government is bringing into your economy? What is the jobs? If migration leave today, what are the jobs that Scotland, cover UK already, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, England, what jobs are they going to bring into your economy today that is going to put food on your table? What jobs? It's a genuine question. What are the jobs that they're going to bring to your doors today that you're going to have? You're going to start doing Uber? You're going to start doing delivery jobs? Oh, wait. Are you going to start cleaning ass? Because there's a whole lot of old people in your, according to what the data said. Your grandpa, your grandma, the retirement homes, they need their ass to be clean. Are you going to go clean their ass? Oh, wait. You can leave those jobs for the immigrants, but you don't want to do it. You want to sit in a cushion in an office. You want to smoke cigar. You want to put your food on the table. You want to live the best life. You want to drink piña colada or whatever they call it. You want to be able to travel to Maldives. Go on holiday every 6 months. With which money? And you want to buy a house. You want to raise a family. Okay, where are the jobs? And one last thing again, are you qualified? Do you have the skills? Can you acquire the skills? Can you maintain the skills? Do you have the resilience to go through workforce? There's a whole lot of question that goes with you keeping the job. Can you do that? Like I said, I've looked at the trajectory that the so-called Western society are living. Find me one country in Europe that has the same soil as Cameroon, that has the same soil as Niger, that has the same soil as Ghana, that can manufacture raw organic food that is not laced with all those things from Bill Gates. Tell me. We're talking about the so-called European countries that the birth rate is the same European countries that they're begging in Latvia. They don't have a lot of population. A lot of people are going, get the fuck out of this bush. I'm going to the city. In China, the birth rate is down. In the Philippines, the birth rate is down. In Japan, the birth rate is down. In South Korea, the birth rate is down. In the Middle East, it's down. There are particular countries that are still keeping afloat. You want to know where they are? India. China. Congo. Nigeria. They're very particular countries that are still keeping afloat. The rest of them, they're going down. So it's going to get to a time, really. It might not be right now. Because you want to be all racial and racist because your mind cannot comprehend how the system has been really penetrating both of us. You're going to annihilate things because people are going to see how you really truly feel about Africans or immigrants. They're going to see it. You know what they're going to do? They will keep it in their memory. They won't forget. They will see you down the line 15 years from now. They go back to the same thing that I always talk about quite often. It's called the sins of the father. Dum. That's how it works. The sins of the father will get passed on from one generation to the other. So all the behavior that you guys are doing now, give it up. Because the day is going to come whereby you're going to be old. You'll be in your late 50s, your late 60s. Your kidney doesn't work no more. Your sons, your daughters, they don't want to take care of it. They're going to dump you in a retirement home. What do you think is going to happen then? You understand? So who wants to bring a child into this safe system? That is a good question. It said, are you going to read the comment or just keep reading the script? I'm not doing script. You see, that's the thing with my live streams. I don't do no script at all. This is raw and organic. I'll read. Let me read a few comments from the viewers. Because we can't afford suffering the mass immigration. Okay. I get it. A lot of people, like I said, I genuinely do understand. But there is no jobs. That is my point. You cannot build any economy via borrowing money constantly. When you borrow money, what are you borrowing money for? When you borrow the money, what have you created with the money that you borrowed?
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely asking. When, okay, across the board, I don't know how much do you think UK's debt is? Someone in the comment section, tell me, how much is the UK debt? I want somebody to tell me, what do you think is the UK debt today? They said they have run everything into ground for the but the reset. See, now I'll give you a clap now. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. This is why I say something is going on. It doesn't make any sense. Across the world, they're feeling the same thing. The only people we're not hearing anything from as the most elite people on the planet of this earth. It doesn't affect them one bit. It doesn't affect them one bit. So this is why I don't want people to have this mindset that antagonizing other people because of the migratory environment. You got to understand, those places, they come from places too. Yes, their currency might not be as valid as yours, but I promise you, a day is going to come. You're grounded, have nothing. You have to export. People remember all these things. So this is it for my audience who are Caucasian. Genuinely, I want you guys to understand something. I don't think there's anybody who's reasonable enough in 2026 is going to come across and say that every white person is a racist person. Nah, that would be really fucking dumb and stupid. And there is nobody in the right frame of mind should want to hold you accountable for the actions of the people that came before you. That is not right and that is not fair. Okay? This is one thing, my summary, my deciphering of what a lot of people just want, especially those who are being colonized. Okay? Very simple. All these countries that have colonized all over the world, just acknowledge that this shit was wrong. Acknowledge that this thing was wrong. Mistakes were made. If they ask for restitution, don't push back. Acknowledge it. Pay it instrumentally. Say every year we'll give you 100 million. Every year we'll give you 50 million. Every year we'll give you 30 million. Every year we'll give you 10 million. That acknowledgement will let those people understand that their voice have been heard. That's it. Acknowledgement of the sins of the past. Not holding you responsible for the sins of the past. That's it. Just acknowledgement. All of this chaos in this world today would have changed. Because like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, even the water we drink here in Australia, in Melbourne here, is contaminated. The water. Nothing can change my mind. A couple of months ago, I saw on the screen, and there's been a lot of replication of the same sort of script and stories that was written to make all these TV shows. Go on, if you have Prime. Go on Prime, go and watch a TV series called The Night Manager. It will show you the weapon industry, how it works. Manufactured chaos so I can turn around and sell you solution. And when they build those weapons, which money do you think they used to build those weapons? We are getting screwed by the same group of people over and over and over again. Then when you want to crash out, you crash out on people that look like me. Then you expect people like me to be happy. I'm not hurting you. It's the same system that is you and I. That is how it works. So open your mind. Just open your goddamn mind and see how the system works. I'll say it again one more time. Any reasonable someone shouldn't look at any white person and say, oh, you colonizers. Yeah. It doesn't fucking make sense because nobody is. But wrongs were done. I did a live stream about this. I shit you not. It fucking blew my mind. The fucking UK, couldn't acknowledge that slavery was crime against humanity. Because, ladies and gentlemen, for people don't know, if I tell you that they're still selling a whole human being today, would you believe me? A whole human being is still getting sold today. This is why I said the entire system was not created in the place of fairness. It was created from a place of leverage. The banks are looking for leverage because once you sign that deal, you're locked up with them for the next 50 years of your life, neither you like it or not. You want to get out of it? Sign yourself out of it. That is the only way you can play. You have to sign to play the game. The three musketeers that controls our community, our society every day. The banks, the lawyers, the politicians, they have one particular friend. Their friend is a billionaire. The people that hide the wealth under trust funds. The people that you can put every law on the planet of this earth. You're digging it, you will never find their name. Because they don't fucking exist. But guess what? They walk around among us every day and you don't even know who they are. Because the system was designed for them. The system is not designed for you. I've had friends of mine who are some of the most educated Caucasian guys I've ever seen, and they're fucking struggling. Many of them have over $120,000 in school debt. I'll say again one more time. If you have any crumb of any gumption of reasonable knowledge in your head, ask yourself a question. Who promotes the idea of getting rich by debt? Okay? Who promotes the idea of getting rich by getting into debt? You debt yourself into a billionaire, a trillionaire. But how many people will have access to those resources for you to be able to do so? Think, people, think. The institution is designed to exploit people. Once you set up something hide on the trust fund, that's it. It's done. Nothing can change out of it. So you can crush out all you want. You can say, tell them to leave my country, immigrant. You can whinge all you want. It doesn't change shit. It doesn't. Because unfortunately, the shit is so integrated that you don't even understand. Even though when it's time to hold them accountable, you cannot. This is why the Epstein situation, when it happened, I was one of the few content creators on YouTube here that I said it out. I said they would never be held accountable. You cannot hold them accountable. They live in a different world than you and I. They can never be held accountable because they are not governed by the same law that you and I are governed by. This is why companies would make billions of dollars and they will pay zero tax. And you work all your life, you pay more tax than most banks, most companies, most organizations. There is incentive for them not to pay tax. But you have to pay tax. Then you crash. You get mad. You insult. You destroy properties. When it's time for them to pay those insurance companies, where do you think they're going to get the money from? They're not going to invent new money. They will go into the tax system. Because it's damaged due to riots. Government will be held accountable. Government have to pay for it. So you will pay. Please, guys, I want you guys to think a lot. We're getting screwed by the same system. We're literally. Including here in Australia, I want to shout out to my Australian viewers. I know I've never really talked very much about Australia, but god damn it, man. We got to fucking open our mind. We have to literally open our mind. The issue in this country has never been about immigrant. It's always been about the same thing. Mismanagement of resources. Because as of 20 years ago, Australia was only $50 billion in debt. In 2026, Australia is in about $2 trillion in debt. Ladies and gentlemen, in 20 years, $2 trillion. And yet, in that same amount of time, China has become the world economy #1. Because they realize something that I'm shouting constantly every time I come on live streams. Every community, if you don't become an asset, when the whole world will see you that you have some sort of value, manufacturing, technology, what are we producing? Even the AI race, Australia is not part of it. Technology, when the entire system is all you do is import. All you do is buy. You don't create, you don't manufacture. How do you expect to grow anything? And your system is in credit. I've did the estimation here. In Australia, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching from overseas, I promise you, for you to want to buy a house, for you to own your house outright, it's going to take you about 45 to 55 fucking years for you to own it. And the bank owns it. You don't own your house. There is land tax, property tax. There's a whole lot of stupid tax. And you got to pay. Boo-boo. You have to sign to play the game. That is the structure of modern wealth. The modern banking system, for those who don't know, according to the information that you can research yourself if you're really interested, modern banking was created because a particular king wanted to go to war, like the King of England, and he wanted to fight France for about a whole year, and he didn't have money. So he went to his merchants. Hey, I need to borrow some money. He borrowed money and they say, I'm not going to pay you back, but I'll pay you interest. That is what created the modern banking interest rate that we have today. American economy is that very soon, before the end of, I think by the end of June, July, it's going to be about $40 trillion in debt. But the actual debt is about $109 trillion because interest need to compound on it. Every day, the interest they pay on that debt alone is crazy. And they hold that money to themselves. I used to think about that shit doesn't make any sense until I realized that there is one string that is holding it. It's called Japan. The day Japan increased their interest rates by 1 digit, recession officially kicks in. And last time I checked, they said they're going to do it in the next couple of weeks. All right? Let me see if I can find it. Japan is increasing their interest rate. And once they do it, it's over, man. It's over. Let me see if I can find the actual video that says it. So I don't want to say like I'm making shit up. Japan is going to increase their interest rate, and once they do it, yeah, it's over, man. Let me quickly show it before I bounce out of here. Japan is increasing the interest rate. Once they do that, it's over, man. It's over. The whole world is going to go into recession. I'll say it again one more time. You heard me right. I'm not stalling, because every data I've found, everything that I've seen is saying exactly the same thing. Watch.
Stocks, treasuries. The Bank of Japan just raised rates to 1%, the highest since 1995. And this matters because for years, Japanese investors were borrowing ultra cheap yen and pouring that money back into US stocks, treasuries, tech, and crypto. But now, that trade is starting to reverse. Japanese government bond yields have surged. The yen has strengthened at times. And investors are beginning to pull money out of foreign assets and rethink risk. And what have we started seeing? Crypto struggling to hold momentum, altcoins getting crushed, AI stocks becoming volatile, markets reacting violently to macro news. Japan is one of the biggest holders of US treasuries in the world, meaning if Japanese institutions keep bringing capital home, that doesn't just affect Japan. It affects global liquidity.
Fact.
And crypto is starting to trade less like a separate market and more like a live stress indicator for the entire financial system, which means this Japan story is one of the biggest macro stories in the world right now.
And that's the truth. Because once Japan, if they... Yikes. If Japan increased their interest rate to 2%, shit is gonna be crazy. If Japan increased the interest rate to 2%, it's done. It's done. Kaput. It's too late then. That is what is gonna happen. We're cooked. Every one of us, including you, Mr. Peach and Mrs. Peach. If you complain, it's not enough money, you can complain all you want. Like I said, if a system is designed from a place of credit, what the fuck do you expect? Is interest after interest after interest. Interest is going to compound to the point is that it's going to overshadow the initial money that you borrow. This is why there's always one people that always benefit from this situation. Lawyer, politician, banks. And who are their friends? The billionaires. Like I always say, thinking is not illegal. When I do my live stream, it's not to provoke people or to get people mad or get people riled up. I like people to open your mind. The world economy is where it is today is because the people that want it to be, they want it to be this way. So you keep crashing and get distracted from what is really hating you in your head every day. You take your aggression, your frustration on immigrants. That's not how the system works. The system is working exactly how it's designed to work. Instead of you fighting people, actually make friends with them. Because that's another thing again that is so difficult for a lot of people to comprehend. You see, when you struggle to even trying to make friends with people you want to fight, try this for a second. This has worked many times. If you want to fight someone, ask them, I don't want to be your friend, but I want you to hear why I want to fight with you. And let's share explanation why you want to fight each other. You will start opening your mind that you're suffering from the same thing. Lack of understanding or comprehension. That's it. It's rocket science. Yeah, serious rocket science. Before you fight someone, tell them reason why you want to fight with them and allow them to respond to you why they want to fight with you. Then you both understand that you lack comprehension. Because once you comprehend, I'm telling you, you won't have a need to fight. Now, if you're still mad, you still want to fight, so which means that there's a lot of emotion attached to it. Then you gotta ask yourself, why emotionally want to reach somebody that doesn't want to fight you? Food for thought. See, thank you guys for enjoying me tonight. It's quite a very lovely night. Look, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Watch. I make a lot of videos about this. I go in depth. Today I didn't do a lot of research today because I've been really tired about being at work since 3 o'clock in the morning. But please do me a favor. Subscribe, comment. Let me know if you agree and disagree with me. The simple question for today is basically what I asked before. Because when you start, something is not adding up. Before you start telling, get in my country, get in my country. Yeah, get in your country. Immigration is taking all my jobs. I don't know about that. Nah, it's not immigration. It's called mismanagement of resources, mismanagement of responsibility, mismanagement of wealth. I can go on and on and on about it. So please do me a favor. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Do you think everyone should go back to their country? Do you think that will give you more jobs? That will put more money on your table? If that's the case, put it in the comment section, let me know. I'll read it. Like I always say, thinking is not illegal, but you can pay me so I can think for you.
It is